June recommendations, the yes section. So, She-Ra and the Princess of Power. So I watched all 5 seasons of this show, and I think it's a solid cartoon, honestly, because you don't see very many good cartoons now. I mean, not saying that there aren't, it's a thing, you know. They're not as... People don't really make good cartoons as much as they used to. Whatever, anyway. I think it's beautiful, and with its animation and storytelling, it's amazing. I think it's earned its place, but I do remember this show having a little bit of controversy way back when it first started airing, because the show is very open about all relationships and families. And the show is, for lack of words, gay. I don't mean that in an offensive way, but the show is gay. But it's full of pride, and it's just so happens to be Pride Month, so happy Pride Month. The main couple of the show are a lesbian couple. I'll come back to them later. But most of the controversy was stupid, and the show has always been this way. I think the show was accused of queer baiting, but I disagree. And I will show you why. Because if we travel back in time to the 80s or to the early 2000s when I watched these shows on Boomerang, you'd remember that He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was an action cartoon that people still to this day swear is a gay cartoon. And it's a prominently gay character. And I agree to that. A few years later, a spin-off of He-Man was created, and it was called She-Ra and the Princess of Power, and it was targeted towards young girls, as He-Man was targeted at young boys. And this series, like He-Man, is also said to be another gay show, which it was. It wasn't as obvious as it is in the current version, but if you watch it, you'll definitely see it. I would like to see the same team try and pick up on He-Man one day. That would be kind of cool. But so let's talk about ships. The main ship for the show is Adora and Catra, but I didn't ship it, and I'll explain. I know I was supposed to ship it as soon as I saw season 1, but Catra kept doing so much crap. Most of it, not all of it, was basically the reason we had problems in the story. Catra was tearing things apart. She did redeem herself at the end, but I do like it when stories do this. However, when the antagonist becomes an ally, that's cool. But when the character does so much that it doesn't seem like it equals the amount of damage they did, like, that's when I have a problem with it. I much preferred Scorpia because she was a sweetheart, but her and Adora didn't really have any chemistry. But I can't be the only one who didn't really ship these two. But Glimmer and Bow, oh yes, I shipped it hard. Very. I just thought Adora deserved better. Though Catra was fine at the end, I feel like her evil exceeds her good, but that's just my opinion, I guess. The Untamed. So this is a very long show, like 50 episodes each, 45 minutes. It's also really confusing and has lots to remember. Because of this, I had a lot of trouble committing to this, but I made it through. Every part of the show is gorgeous. From the fighting choreography, to the rivals, to the visuals, to the camera work, and to all the beautiful men. It's like watching live action fan fiction. Goblin Slayer. It's in the title. It's about slaying goblins. The Body. So I just started watching Hindi movies on Netflix, and I love them. They are amazing. I didn't know Hindi movies went so hard. This movie was crazy. A ride, if you will. The story really isn't what I thought it would be. A husband kills his wife, but to be fair, I kind of understand why. She was kind of annoying. Anyway, the body of hers is taken from the morgue and the trials ensue. The twist is very twisty, but everyone just thinks her body was stolen or that she's still alive and walked out on her own. Well, no, that's not what happens at all, but you'd have to watch it to find out what happened. My secret romance. So our couple has a one-night stand, and then she ends up working with him years later. It's adorable. I did think that they were trying to ignore each other throughout most of it for like 5 episodes. That was a little annoying and unnecessary, but it was still very cute. Slow start. This is a full moe, light Yuri anime, full of cuteness. The girl gets sick and has to start high school late and becomes friends, and that's the anime. Young Blackjack, a prequel to Blackjack, a classic anime I'm honestly not a fan of, but this prequel was amazing. Basically, the story of an unlicensed doctor working on criminals and people that need his help in different situations. Also, the same writer of Dororo wrote this. It takes place in the 60s and deals with political issues for the time. I thought it was amazing. Maria. Basically, a Filipino version of John Wick. They kill her daughter and husband, and she takes down their whole organization in almost like a couple days. And there's only like 2 people left, so there could be a sequel, which I would love to see. Alright, Mrs. Serial Killer. Honestly, this movie was smart and funny, but still suspenseful. When our protagonist's husband is accused of being a serial killer, she decides to prove he is innocent by kidnapping a girl and torturing her, pretending to be a killer. This eventually works, and she gets her husband free. Well, not free, but on bail. And he actually is the killer. This was what leads up to the end of the movie, which is honestly gold. Welcome to the ballroom. In my entire life, I never knew that ballroom dancing was a competitive sport, and I feel robbed. This animation is so fluid and smooth, it makes everything easy to look at. I don't know what's up with me lately, but I really like sports anime, and I like watching and learning about sports I'd never participate in. The Royals' work is never done. This is an anime about the game shogi, which is a Japanese chess, basically, which I want to learn to play now. Number 6. This basically is like Banana Fish, honestly. Anyway, this show's about the corrupted cities where everyone has bees in them that turned into old corpses. There is more to the plot, but also it's like really light yaoi, but then it's kind of not. But it's like Banana Fish, where is it a romance? I don't know. It's just the story's unfolding. I don't think it's supposed to be romantic. Haikyuu! Yep, I finally started it. I'm already a season in. I'm on season 2. I'm super late, but better late than never. All the boys are such sweet babies, and for the one person who doesn't know, Haikyuu is a very popular volleyball anime. You know, if you didn't know that. Now, unlike most sport animes, I actually played volleyball in junior high, so at least I know what's going on. Avatar: The Last Airbender. First of all, this isn't my first time watching it at all, but I haven't rewatched it in probably 15 years, so I thought I would say it since Netflix finally got it. So I haven't probably watched it since I was like 10, but I came to realize a few things. One, the show is still amazing. It has amazing character storytelling, and I still haven't moved on from Prince Zuko. I still love him, and I'm obsessed. I kind of put it behind me, then I rewatched the show, and I fell in love with him all over again.
Ooh. Ooh. What? Oh, yeah.
Dumb hits don't make no sense.
Oh, damn, yeah.
And I kind of have a problem now. 10-year-old me is still shaking. I know I'm older than him now, but when I fell in love with him, I was a lot younger. So, like, I know I'm 22 now, but when I fell in love with him, it was like 15 years ago, so ignore the age thing because it doesn't matter. And he's a drawing, so whatever. Anyway, the show's mature without being inappropriate. The show's hilarious and heartwarming. All the characters are likable, and the story's amazing. The character arcs in the show are amazing. Speaking of amazing characters, Prince Zuko has the best character arc. It is more than enough reason to watch the show. Second would be the solid storytelling. I love this man so much. I would actually be willing to have children with Zuko, and I don't like kids at all.
Oh, his long hair. We got it. That's a wrap. That's a wrap, boys. I'm pregnant.
My extreme fangirl side came out every time he was on screen. My crush for him lasted over a decade, and I guess I suppressed it or something because now I've got it bad for him once again, and it hurts to see Mai constantly living out my dreams.
May is literally the coldest bitch in the entire Fuego Nation. Watch this. Azula shows up.
Zuko, can I have a word with you?
Can't you see we're busy?
May says, fuck you. I like an audience when I bang your brother.
Now we're in the meh section. How? Yeah, I had to watch this movie twice because I was kind of confused, but basically this robot turns into a human because, like, 2 kids have died. It's pretty sad, to be honest. Get in. So these people come back from vacation. They ask to take over their utility bill or something, have moved in instead, and a good hour of the movie goes by with all this legal stuff before they actually get really dark and take their house back by force. I don't even know how to say this one. Dorohedoro. A guy gets turned into a lizard head, so he sinks sorcerers' heads into his mouth so that the man in his mouth can talk to them. The plot and characters are crazy, and none of them are similar. They're all different. 122. This is about illegal organ trade in the hospital. Honestly, it's one of my biggest fears. River's Edge. This movie had so much sex in it. Way too much. It's got this kid that gets beat up a lot, and he found a body, and he spent like a year with it. And he likes to spend time with it alone, but doesn't want the police to know about it, and this girl just goes with him to the spot, and I'm like, are you stupid? And she's not terrified at all, and I was like, okay, and there's so much sex, it's like every other scene. I was so shocked. Please, twins. So this is fan service filled thing. It's about these girls thinking they're his siblings, but we don't know which one is which. doesn't stop both of them from wanting to get in his pants, so you're uncomfortable because someone is his sibling, but you don't know which one, so it's uncomfortable. Also, the English dub is horrible. It is the stuff of nightmares. If an anime has a dub, I usually try it out first, but yeah, don't do dub. Noblesse Awakening. Vampires are my favorite pastime and guilty pleasure. I think this was an OVA made for a webtoon or an app game or something, but I forgot. But it has beautiful boys in it, so it has plot. It's basically a very strong noble vampire goes to school and hides from his vampire group. The animation was gorgeous. Rocket Man. I'm not the biggest fan of Elton John in the world, but I didn't get this movie. I understand what it was going for, but it was more a rehearsed musical than I thought it would be, and it was gorgeous and colorful, but I was just more musical than I expected. Romance is a bonus book. Another relationship I'll never have. Serial Experiments Lane. Yeah, this was weird. I knew it was kind of weird and known for being weird, but wow. Yeah, everything from the art style to the music was creepy, which was definitely the intent, but I would compare this movie to The Matrix a little, and that kind of messes with your mind. The Night Clerk. So this guy has trouble talking to people, so he records them so he can practice and study people. It sounds creepier than it actually is. His cameras pick up a murder, and you start to think it might be him. The Darkness. I thought this was going to be a totally different type of horror movie, and I clicked on it, but no, it's just ghosts. So this family goes to the Grand Canyon, where the boy picked up these evil rocks, and now their house is haunted. Upload. So Amazon Prime tried to make an isekai, which can't. I find a good show on Amazon Prime. Like, I can't find good shows on their thing. I don't know why. So, your mind gets uploaded to a computer program, basically, when you die. I think this is supposed to be, like, SAO. Anyway, it's not a bad thing. It's just, I've seen so many anime like this, and stories like this in general, that the idea and the whole show has a lot of comedy that I don't really like. However, this is one of those shows I think people can enjoy. It's just not me personally. Basically, he gets to live in a video game, but not a super fun one. It's like a normal life video game, so it's not that fun. The No section. Code 8. It's just a basic superhero movie. Think of the X-Men Mutants universe where everyone treats them like scum. I don't know, it just didn't have much. Also, Stephen Amell is in this, literally playing the character of Oliver Queen. Literally the same character, just with powers. Maniac. I think this was the first thing I put on my watch list when I finally got my Netflix account. Mostly because Jonah Hill was in it. Well, the show is confusing, which I understand is kind of the point, but this show literally looks like it could be in every decade. I mean the 20s, the 40s, 50s, 80s, 90s, modern time, the future. So they're testing out these pills and stuff, and we get a large collection of unfunny, weird scenarios, which, once again, I think was the point. To say the show was dry was an understatement. The first episode was kind of intriguing, but after a few episodes, everything went down fast. I think it might have worked better as a movie, like a really long movie. The idea was interesting, I just think it wasn't portrayed the way they meant for it to be. The Last Airbender. We're gonna get to this, yeah. So in honor of rewatching one of the greatest cartoons ever, I decided to finally watch the movie. No, I knew it was bad, but I never completed it. I made it to the week excuse for Earth Prison before giving up. This time I made myself watch it. Now, it's a direct adaptation. This film was trying to basically make the show live action, which is fine. Netflix is trying to do it right now, which is fine, but not when you stomp all over the source material. Everything in this movie is terrible compared to the original work. I could pick it apart all day, but I'll try not to. First, most annoying problem, why are there so many white people? There was no white people in the show. Second, why is everything said wrong? All the characters' names are wrong. Even the word avatar is said wrong. How do you mess that up? Another problem, it's so unfunny. All the fighting is so slow, it's freaking embarrassing. The Fire Lord is in this movie so much for no reason, and he actually acts like he cares about Zuko in this movie, which, no, he doesn't. Watching this movie made me think of that one episode where they watched the play about themselves and they got offended.
My jokes are way funnier than this. They make me look totally stiff and humorless.
You didn't really say that, did you?
Can you get me some fire flakes? Oh, and fire gummies.
I bet they would have got offended by this entire movie. Everything was so rushed. They were almost through season 1 at the 30-minute mark. Then everything was so slow. All the characters know things they shouldn't. Like, I understand how they know, but that, like, from the show I understand, but none of this was shown in the movie, so they shouldn't know this. So, you know, not to mention, the acting is so bad. Even though some of these were good actors in this movie, it was just so stale, which I'm blaming on the director. Lots of good content comes from making fun of this crap, though. I'll give it that.
My name is Zong.
and I'm the Avatar.
My name is Ong. I'm the Avatar.
How is he doing that?
I don't want to hurt anyone.
I don't want to hurt you.
Okay. Everybody can help us now!
Okay, everybody can help us now!
What you watching?
Airbender.
Avatar! That's right, it is on Netflix. What you think? Holy
It's really good.
Oh, you meant the movie. Great. I'm so glad you're being exposed to that. I'm gonna go back up the stairs
My
and...
favorite character is Ong.
That's not how you pronounce it. Oh, just gonna keep going.
I like how slow the fighting is.
It's supposed to be a lot faster than that.
How it's not funny at all.
Why? Why is it so unfunny? They took all the comedy out of the original source material. Please tell me when it's over!
Look at all the white people.
Not to mention all of the benders are much weaker compared to their cartoon selves for some reason. Like, everybody's weaker, like, completely. The firebenders are way weaker. The earthbenders obviously are. I'm happy this movie bombed so that 2 more of these stale movies didn't exist.
With all the Avatar hype going around because The Last Airbender's finally on Netflix, I want to give everyone watching it some advice. When you finish The Last Airbender series, do not watch the live action movie! It's terrible! I know what you guys are thinking. George, how do you know it's terrible? Oh, you know, only because I was in the movie! You guys are probably like, George, there's no way that's you. I wish I was lying! The movie came out a decade ago, and to this day, I still beg for forgiveness. None of the money I was paid was worth destroying the Avatar franchise I loved as a kid. So to anyone watching this TikTok, please, for my sake, pretend the live action movie doesn't exist!